What's up, everybody? We're going to be talking about how what you eat is so important when it comes to your mind. So gut health is so crucial, and I'm going to talk about why it's so important right after this intro. Welcome back, my Optimal Mind leaders, my Optimal Mind performers. And if you are new here, just coming to this channel and have not downloaded my free guide on basically if you have ADHD and want to know what labs to run specifically for ADHD and what nutrients and also supplements and other lifestyle changes to implement if you have ADHD, go ahead and download that, the free guide in the description below. And let's go ahead and get started right now. So my name is Dr. LeGrand, and I grew up with ADHD and dyslexia. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of gut health when it comes to our mind. And yes, when it comes to basically ADHD, but if you have anxiety, depression, or other any mental health issues, this is so important for your mind to be able to focus on gut health. So you know that saying is basically you are what you eat. I always like to say your mind is what you eat, because everything that we consume, if we eat lots of crappy food, guess what? You're going to have brain fog, you're going to feel depressed, you're going to feel fatigued, your brain is going to be very sluggish, and it's not going to be peak performance like we do talk about on this channel about basically having an optimal mind performance. And gut health is so crucial because we need to give our body the vital nutrients that we need on a daily basis. Our brain needs healthy fats, but on top of that, it needs to be able to consistently build and rebuild neurotransmitters that we consistently use in our chemical brains that we use on a daily basis, that basically people who do take medications because they're not producing enough neurotransmitters, so they're having to take either antidepressants or ADHD medications or anxiolytics to be able to help with our brain chemistry. So what you need to be focusing on is a lot of actually important nutrients to be able to implement. Otherwise, you're going to feel very sluggish brain. So what kind of nutrients I'm talking about? Definitely high amounts of vegetables have lots of nutrient-dense minerals such as B vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, A, all the different types of vitamins, and consistently rotating different vegetables in your diet so you get a good variety so the brain can actually consume that and actually be at a more peak performance level to be able to help with that. Another thing you should be looking at is basically if you are backed up, then guess what? If you're backed up, you're going to have a really brain fog, and you should be looking at be able to clean out your system, whether that's through a cleanse or be able to just really kind of more of a strict diet where it's going to be more vegetable-based, more fiber-based types of foods to be able to get the system cleaned out and be able to kind of implement other things that might be an issue, such as maybe taking a digestive enzyme if you feel like you're just not having consistent bowel movements on a regular basis. So what I consider actually consistent on a regular basis as far as bowel movements, that would be at least 2 to 3 times a day. So basically how many times you eat a day is how many times you should be roughly pooping a day. And if you're not, then you're getting backed up, and then that causes more brain fog, causes more issues as far as having a more sluggish brain, and causes more issues for ADHD or any other kind of mental health issues. The second thing, after you realize, okay, yeah, I eat crappy food, so I do need to change that, the brain does need vital types of nutrients. And like I said before, it does need healthy fats because our brain is made up a lot of fats. And so in order to reach its most peak performance, you need to be giving it the right types of foods. You might be asking, okay, what are the right foods? It really goes back down to the basics of getting the right types of all macronutrients, but on more healthier whole foods types of diet. So if it's packaged, guess what? It's not going to be its most natural source, most whole foods. That I would say you need to get foods that are actually less packaged and processed and are more whole foods that could be better for the brain, better for the body, so they could reach optimal mind performance. And on top of that, like I said, as far as when it comes to neurotransmitters rely off of B vitamins, vitamin C, magnesium, all these types of minerals and vitamins, which we get a ton from our vegetables. And so by consistently eating lots of good amounts of vegetables can feed into this. A lot of people use supplements. Supplements can be great, but guess what? The reason why they call them supplements is because they are supplementing for something that we're not getting in our diet. So if you can get it from the actual natural food source, that's going to be the best source as far as getting your vitamins and nutrients based off of food. Try to use food for your medicine and not just using a supplement. We're always relying off of a supplement. The third thing is I mentioned about basically if you're eating crappy food, you're going to be backed up. So what this does when you are completely backed up, if you're constipated, I mentioned that you should be pooping at least 2 to 3 times a day, but let's say you're pooping every other day, maybe only 2 to 3 times a week, you're really backed up. And when you're backed up like that, guess what happens? In your digestive system, when you're eating those, let's say you're eating the good food, let's say you're eating the good vegetables, guess what? Your brain is not getting it, not at least enough. It's definitely not, because your system's all backed up. You just think about it in a factory. When a factory's all backed up, up, you're not producing whatever the factory's trying to produce. Same thing when things that we're trying to eat and we're trying to produce good nutrients for the brain and for the rest of the body. If you're backed up, it's not working properly. So you need to figure out how to get that out of your system. I've mentioned about things that you should be able to do as far as just trying to eat more fibrous foods, trying to consume more water, try to also maybe even using a digestive enzyme. But of course, you should be always checking with your doctor. So if you have digestive issues, chances are you need to go see a doctor, be able to look at what's going on as far as your digestive system. Now, I would recommend a doctor that has a little bit more knowledge in nutrition, not just your typical conventional doctor. They can help you kind of get your digestive system moving on track. That's what I focus a lot on my own practice, something I have training more extensive in nutrition and holistic and alternative medicine versus just the conventional medicine stuff. Even though that can be helpful, with the medications, all that kind of stuff. But if we don't focus on the digestive aspect, this can really cause issues for people who have mental health issues, such as like ADHD, depression, and anxiety. And when that is an issue, your brain is just not working at its most optimal level it can because the digestive system isn't working properly. So please, 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 if your digestive system is not working like it should be, please seek out, be able to get more help. And if you're looking for actually further guidance, I do have a free ADHD guide to tell you what labs, what nutrients and supplements to be able to implement to be able to have a better, healthier life with your ADHD. And you can download that in the description below. And I hope you found this beneficial. This is Dr. Grant signing out. And remember, you have an optimal mind. Thanks. Bye.